Welcome back, everyone, to the No Business Soccer Podcast. I'm your host, Snooze. We got my boy Danny P in the back, as always. We got J-Fam, the Brainiac, hanging out with us as well. And, of course, I'm here with my man, Hype Man Vic. Hype Man, tell me how you doing.
How's it going, Snooze? I'm doing good. Can't English right now. Doing good.
Hey, had too much whiskey already.
No, not yet. We're getting there, though. But
all right.
The guy in the back, J-Fam, started making me laugh. We are drinking today Knob Creek 12. Now, Victor, why are we drinking Knob Creek 12? I'll tell you, Adam. We're drinking Knob Creek 12 because the last winner of these two teams, the last team to win was 12 years ago, and it was Spain. So we're drinking some Knob Creek 12 to commemorate this. Cheers.
Wow, look at you. That's like, you're transitioning very well right there. I like that.
Pretty nice, right?
Okay, well, Knob Creek doesn't sound fancy to me, but, I don't know anything about whiskeys or bourbons, so I'll have to try it maybe this weekend when we're watching the Euro 2024 final. But before we get there, let's talk about what happened in the semis. But we have a couple of things to take care of. First off, how do you feel about the Canadian national team making it further in Copa America than the U.S.? Because to me, it just kind of sits wrong. It doesn't feel right. Like, we should be the big brothers here. We should be the one that's going further. But I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. They've been high flying. I feel like they attacked us again somehow. I don't know. Just going further. Didn't feel right.
It's just weird. But I will say, I think they, outside of Argentina, they had the easier group. So, I'm sure people would debate that. But either way, talking about the Copa, we also had a brawl for the ages. Your boy Nunez jumping in the crowd.
My boy was standing on business, man. He was out there swinging. He got hit pretty hard too. But
that's crazy.
Apparently, it was like a family thing. Their families were getting in that mess, and they're a bunch of drunk Colombians. So he had to jump in there and attack.
Take care of business. It's crazy. And there's no way that, I don't want to say there's no way, but that shouldn't happen. First off, it should never happen. But I don't feel like that happens in the Euros, right? That would only happen in the Copa. But also, it was in the States, so it's not like, get some security up in there. What's going on? How do we just have them not separated? And yeah, of course, if you have their families next to some drunk people, there's going to be some brawls going on. People talk shit. We know how it goes. But yeah, that was crazy to see. Like, the teams were jumping in the stands, throwing hands, throwing bows. Like, what is going on? Couldn't believe it. But hopefully everybody's okay. I didn't see that anybody got injured. Did you? That they got injured? Yeah.
No, not really. Just a bunch of
just a little squab, huh?
But,
just a little squab.
I know that we have 2 years to figure it out because we're gonna have World Cup games here. It's gonna be even worse, probably. So.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, get your shit together. Okay, well, before we jump into it, I just want to say that there's been a lot of summer signings going on. A lot of the teams are starting to get their coaches in line. The seasons are coming around the corner. And I'm getting excited. We have a lot of things on the horizon at No Business Soccer Podcast here. So we can't wait for not only the Euros to end, that's kind of sad, but then also for what that means going forward with some of the European reach around information, the things that we'll be covering. But there's one thing that I have to say. I don't have a cat. And Danny P in the back keeps telling me that I do. And I want your opinion on this before we get into work here, because I have a stray cat. There's this black cat that comes by every night, and we did start feeding him, right? Like, he's scrawny, he's malnourished. Does that mean I have a cat? I don't think so. I don't think so at all.
Adam, that's the cat distribution system. Have you not heard of that?
No, that's not a thing. You just made it up right now.
100%. If you go Google it or something, you'll find out exactly. You've been chosen. It's just your time. So you have a cat.
I've never owned a cat. I don't plan on owning a cat. Okay, well, we got that out of the way. I don't think I have a cat. We'll keep it at that. I'll look up the distribution system. It's not a thing.
Your cat's going to be really upset to hear you say that.
Don't have a cat. Yeah. Okay, moving on. We got Spain and France in the semis. They threw down in the Allianz Arena in Munich. And of course, like we all saw it coming, Spain wins 2-1. But before we got to that 2-1 final score, we actually had some surprising stuff, like A goal from open play for France.
About that.
What the heck? That's crazy. But I don't want to talk about that yet. What I want to talk about is the Nacho head smash. Nacho Libre. He went full Nacho Libre on him. To me, he was looking down. Like there's no... I don't want to say it's a red card, but like the dude didn't have to fall that way. Like, how do you fall with your hand smashing someone's head? He could have chose to fall in another way. Am I right or am I wrong?
He was staring like straight at him, like in the replay. It was slow motion. You just see him go.
He's like getting it loading. Yeah, just loading it, getting it ready.
Yeah,
that was crazy. I don't remember if he got booked for that, but to me, it felt like it was a little bit more on purpose than they treated it. But anyway, we will start there because Kolo Muani got his revenge like a minute later, and he gets a header. But that header, as Daniel was saying in our chat, it was all set up because of a moment of brilliance from our boy Mbappe. He didn't have to do much, or he didn't do much else in this tournament. But that split second where he decides, you know what, picks his head up, gets across. It was like there was no momentum on the ball. He was standing still. It was beautiful. It was awesome to see, and that's all it takes for a guy like that. You know, we call those boner balls around here. Don't we?
I've never called it that. Don't listen to him.
All right, fine. I'm trying to make that work, but anyway, they're called boner balls because they just instant erections. That's when you see a cross like that. Don't spit your drink out. Okay. Either way, I know that you were saying all along that there's no way France can keep getting away with it, and this time they didn't, because all of that didn't matter when the pissed off teenager, who's that? Lamine Yamal? No. I mean Lamine the Dream Yamal. My boy, he's doing it again. That goal was ridiculous. Just go watch it. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen it by now. But if you watch that goal go in and you know what Adrien Rabiot was talking before the game, it kind of like makes it all the sweeter. We'll get into that a little bit more later, but I just want to say, what a goal. What a goal. Kid's awesome. Okay. Now another guy that we got to talk about though, Dani Olmo. This guy, he deserved the start. He got the start, and he just creates havoc. He gets in the box. He starts pushing things around. If you watch the highlights, he gets 2 touches on a ball and then puts it directly at the keeper. And of course, forces an own goal because that's what we do in the Euros. Apparently, that's 11 Euro. There are 11 own goals in this Euro. I think it ties the Euros from last season. Damn. And I wouldn't be surprised if we break it. Honestly.
Got to be. There's no way we don't break it this year. It's been insane. We'll find out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know when we played some league soccer, Victor liked to get some own goals as well. So he's a big fan of own goals.
It's usually like 3-on-1. So everybody is just coming straight at me. And I panic.
We're all out attack, baby. No defense on our team.
No
but
right.
Dani Olmo, he's been very impressive. He's been pushing the envelope, and I'm glad he got the start. And then, of course, France, they play their first full game, their first game where they look like they were being their full team, and Mbappe's out there making things happen. But man, I'm pretty sure at this point he just needs a month off. He's going to Madrid, so he just needs to go to Ibiza with, you know how they say, and just hang out on the beach, chill out, get his mind clear, because he's about to win everything again with Real Madrid. So like, go chill out, my dude. But for Spain, yeah, they go into the final. They already have been dominating everyone. If you remember, in this final, they didn't have Lenormand and Carvajal, right? Those guys were suspended for this game. Now they get them back, and they're flying this good. I mean, this high, like it's crazy. Lamine, the Dream Yamal, he said 2 words at the end of the game. Do you know what those words were?
Do not.
Tell habla, because he was, someone was talking that mess. We don't know who. We got to wink. We don't know who, but he this is going to be awesome to see. If he ends up getting a goal in the final and they win, he's going to be a freaking legend. We talked about it before the whole tournament. This kid was going to break out, and he did. And they've looked like the favorite to win this since the first match day. And I honestly don't think that they're going to have Well, we'll save it. We'll save it. I don't want to get into the predictions just yet, but
Okay.
anything you want to say before we say goodbye to our French brethren?
No, the only thing I will say, and I know I just said no, but I'm going to say something anyway, is that
The opposite of what you said.
Yeah, it's going to be sad because we all used to come together at work and sit around the TV and watch the games. And the last one was just the other day, and now we have to actually work all day, so it sucks. But
that does suck.
Yeah, it's all right. The Olympics coming up. We're going to be watching then, and all my coworkers, if you're working, because Coleslaw. You're my boy Coleslaw found the podcast. Yeah, his name is Cole, but
okay.
I mumble, so it kind of sounded like coleslaw at one time. And
you do mumble. My boy do be mumbling.
Yeah. So we'll be huddled around TV again soon.
And what are we watching in the Olympics? What's like? I mean, obviously there's soccer, but you know what I mean, like
everything. Wrestling. They have tennis. Okay. They have table tennis. I'll be watching some table tennis for sure.
There's always these obscure things. Skateboarding. I'm excited to watch skateboarding. So
that's right.
Okay. Well, before we move on, we do have to say au revoir to our French brothers. It was very fun having you here. Thanks for showing up for once in this tournament. That was rude. I'm sorry. Bye. We're moving on. We're going to talk about England and Netherlands. They threw down in Borussia Dortmund's home stadium in Dortmund. And it was a 2-1 win for England. And in this game, we said it last time, but in this game, it really felt like England were finally themselves. Because in the last game, you saw them starting to build. They were playing, who were they playing? Switzerland. And they ended up playing a game where it felt like they were the better team, but then they actually won. And it felt like that whole thing was structured moving into this game. Because with this one, the Netherlands were the team that we didn't necessarily think England has better players on paper, but we didn't think that they were going to come out and dominate just like they did with the other teams. But the Netherlands didn't show up. And when I say they didn't show up, it could be because Depay, because he was injured, but I don't think so. I think it's because England's finally turning up. And really, from the off, it felt like both teams were going to go after it. Neither team was going to give in. But whenever Xavi Simons, he hits, or Simmons, I don't want to say Siemens. They say it with that English accent, though. Simmons, he hits that freaking laser, and it was a knuckleball, like zero spin on that thing. And I think that's why the trajectory threw off Pickford. But either way, he like falling down, gets that goal, and it was like, oh no, like, is this really going to happen to England? Are they really going to lose like this? Happy for the Dutch. I mean, it was cool. And if they would have went through, it would have been awesome. But from my point of view, England at the end of the game, they deserved that win. And we got to talk about it. Kane gets the penalty. Was it a penalty? You tell me.
No. I think it hit somebody's hand. Didn't it hit Saka's hand before? I forgot who. It hit somebody's hand before, but nobody saw it. Yeah. So it shouldn't have been a penalty. Go look it up. I bet. Go look it up.
All right. I'm a little biased. I think most people would know that by now. Kane's going to get that penalty, but I think if that happens on anywhere else on the pitch, I can't remember who was the commentator. He said the same thing, but if it happens anywhere else on the pitch, it's a foul. So why wouldn't it be a foul then?
Yeah.
And I mean, just when it happened, I didn't think it was until I saw it in slow motion. First off, that's freaking hurts. Like Kane never rolls around. He's not one to act up like that. So you knew he was in pain, but then when you watch it in slow motion, you're like, yeah. Like that sucked. But he gets the penalty, slots it home, and it's 1-1. And man, where the hell was this team the whole time in this tournament? Like England, if they would have just played like this, there would have been so much less pressure on them because all we heard about going into this game was how are they going to build after that last performance? How was Southgate going to set up his team to stop this high-flying Dutch team? Well, he did it, and they did it. And Foden, he finally came through. He didn't get a goal here, but if you watch it back, he had that. I mean, it was like a centimeter away from being a goal. He got cleared off the line, and then he hits the post. And all of this is before halftime, so it felt like England were going to run away with it, but they just couldn't get that second goal until Ollie freaking Watkins comes in, hits a goal from a crazy angle. And I think if you watch it, it's literally hitting the back of the net while the clock is turning 90. So like they leave it late, but they get it done. What can you say?
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a fun game too. A bunch back and forth. It was really getting down to the wire too, and I was kind of torn because I picked England to win the whole thing, but I love Virgil van Dijk, so it was just I was pretty much screaming for both teams, and even my coworkers were like, "Are you going for like somebody or not? Like who are you going for?" So yeah, it was a fun game though. That was a really good professional game, and that's something we've been waiting for from England for a while.
Yeah, and it sucks because I don't think they're going to be a favorite going into the next game, and they're finally hitting their stride. But yeah, I mean, that team is looking good. They're finally playing like they should. But you know, I still think it was surprising the way that the Netherlands played, because even though, like I said earlier, Depay went off, they just didn't look like themselves in the attacking sense, anyways, and they didn't create a ton of chances, but even towards the end of the game, it always felt like England were going to be the team that would get the goal if there was going to be another goal in it, and there ended up being one. So is there anything else you want to say before we do say goodbye to this Dutch team?
Nope. I want to hear you say this. Go ahead.
Oh, well, I said it before, but
no, I like it.
I've learned since then, but we do have to say goodbye to the best fans in the tournament, the orangest of orange, the coolest chants, the coolest songs. We say Doei Doei to our Dutch brothers. And I promise you all, we will go and see a game in the Netherlands because it looked awesome. I can only imagine what it looks like on home soil. I promise you we'll be there. But we do say Doei Doei.
Doei Doei.
So now, the final. The reason we're all here. Who's bringing home the Euro 2024 title? It's Sunday, July 14th. Got Spain and England at 2 o'clock. Hit us with those money lines.
Spain are your favorites at a minus 155, and England coming in as the underdogs at a plus 120. I think that's earned. I still have England for this game, and
you'd still put money on England
just because I picked them to win from the beginning. Enough. That's the only reason why. So I also might have just doomed them because I think I've had a really bad track record the past like few days. So
yeah,
it's been
tough to pick.
Yeah,
it's tough to pick. And you know, earlier you said it was hard because like England is playing the Netherlands. You have your center back, can't think of his name right now, Van Dijk.
Van Dijk, how dare you?
Yeah, sorry, my bad. And then you also have TAA and you know just England in general. A lot of players up there to like. That's kind of how I feel about this game because, of course, I'm going for Harry Kane to win a trophy and like shut all the haters up. There's a few on this podcast, but man, I don't see how Spain loses. Like they've been good this entire time. They're like, yeah, we've been here, you know, and England are just showing up now. It's going to be fun. England aren't playing boring like they were before. But I just don't see a way that they get it done. I would say 2-1 Spain, and I don't think they need extra time to do it. That's what I say. But we'll find out. We'll find out in a couple of days.
I'm going to give you my score. I think it's going to be 3-2. It'll be tied 2-2 going into extra time. And somehow England is just going to score. They're probably going to get like 6 minutes added on extra time, like they always get for like 3 minutes of stoppage. So,
and then Kane hits the winner. Hell yeah,
he's not that.
I'm down for that. I'm down for that. Let's do it.
No.
I would go crazy if that happened. Don't see it happening, but man, that would be awesome. And we will definitely have to come back in here one more time to wrap this whole tournament up. We'll have a little bit of what our game of the tournament is, shot of the tournament, goal of the tournament, assist. We'll have all of these different things in I don't want to say a week, but a couple of days. So we'll all sit back, enjoy the final, enjoy all that there is about the Euro 2024. And then we can cry a little bit too because it's gone. But don't worry, my friends, because the seasons are right around the corner. And with that, Vic, take us home.
Not going to take long. Going to try to save some retention on this video. Like and subscribe. We'll talk to you after the final. Peace.